Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be diving into Acuity Scheduling and we're going to get it all set up for you. We are going to be setting it up specifically for you as a practitioner, all right? Keep in mind that as we go throughout this module, I am going to be sharing with you insights from our perspective as a studio owner, and then also to applying that to you as a practitioner and how you would want to set it up specifically for your business. And that is keeping in mind that you offer one-on-one services and also that you offer group events. Okay, and so that is all that we are setting up in this module. If you have additional services that you want to set up, then you can just kind of follow the same prompts here and set it up using the same format. All right, so let's dive in. First thing we are going to do is go to acuityscheduling.com. It's going to bring us to this window here to create our account. I personally like to sign in with my Google email account, and we are going to do that. I'm going to set up a free trial using my personal email, since we already have an account set up for the Healing Tree. All right, so the first thing that it's going to bring you to this kind of quick setup window, and it's going to ask you for your business name, and it's going to bring up your scheduling page URL that you want to configure. So I am going to just put the Healing Tree, and then I'm going to put the Healing Tree. This is now the URL for my scheduler. Okay, so clients will be able to schedule with you through this URL. All right, so we're going to hit next. Oh, it looks like it is unavailable. Okay, so let's go this way. Let's see what that does. Okay, that one works. So I put the Healing Tree Collective, and now that works. All right, so let's go ahead and hit next. So here I am going to recommend that you skip this part, all right, because I want you to be able to see how to set up your appointment types and your availability through the actual business settings, all right, and not through this quick setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and just skip this. Can we skip this? All right, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a test here. Let's put 60. I really would want you guys to learn how to set this up, not through this quick setup here. So let's just go ahead and put Sunday. We're gonna go back and remove all of this. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and skip this part right here. The only part that I do want you to complete is the business name and then your URL. All right, everything else, let's go ahead and skip, and let's do this through the actual platform, through the actual dashboard. All right, you guys, so in this video I'm going to walk you through all of the different settings, everything that you see over here on the left hand side, so that you know where to find these things, so that you know how to use them, and then you can also then configure them to your business and your needs. All right, so the first thing that we see here is our calendar. So if we go here, you can already see that we set up a test appointment here. I think Acuity did this automatically, and this is where we can see our calendar view. You have the option of looking at this from a week view, you have the option of looking this on a daily view, and then you also have the option of looking at this at a monthly view, which I prefer. You also, if you have multiple calendars, you can see all of your calendars. You can select them, you can deselect them, so that you can only filter by certain calendars that you may want. You can also zoom in and zoom out. I don't use that feature, but you can if you want to. And then the other thing that you can do here is you can also add appointments manually. All right, and most likely it's going to be an appointment. The order, using the order feature, we don't usually do that. But the appointment feature is most likely where you are going to be using if you need to set up something manually, whether that be a one-on-one appointment or a group class. All right, signing somebody up for a group class. And the other feature that I want to highlight right here is the block off time. This feature will come in handy when you need to block off some time for your own personal needs. Maybe you're on vacation, maybe you're already doing something else, maybe it's your group class and you want to block off that time for any one-on-one services so that you don't double book. That feature right there will definitely come in handy, and it's a way for you to not have to set up an appointment in order for you to block off that time. You can just block off that time without having to set up an appointment. All right, the next area that I want to show you here is the clients section. This is great because you are able to look at your entire list of people who have either purchased any one-on-one services, signed up for any one-on-one services, or anybody who has signed up for any of your group classes. And you can come in here, you can click on their name, and you can see all of their information. You can see their phone number, their email, if you asked for that, if you did any intake forms, if you did any notes about this client, you can see all of that here. And then you can also see any upcoming appointments that they have, and then any past appointments. So you can see their entire transaction list that they have made with you through this platform right here. And so it's really nice to have this all in one section for you to come in and review. You can also import a list using a CSV file. You can export your entire list of clients using a CSV file in case you want to upload it to somewhere else. All right, so the next area that we're going to look at is the invoices section. To be honest with you, I don't do invoicing through this platform. I wouldn't recommend that you do invoicing through this platform. If you have another area where you handle accounting, where you bill your clients, that is where I would recommend that you do your invoicing from. One of the things that you'll hear me say throughout this course is trying to consolidate all of your tools. Trying to consolidate where you have your accounting, where you have your leads, where you have your email communication, which is why I had recommended Go High Level, because it allows you to keep all that in one central area. And it makes it so much easier for you. It makes your business run a lot more efficient. You have the reports area where you can see how much revenue you've brought in, how many appointments you've booked. You can, filter this by month by month. You can filter this depending on the year. Any of that you need to look at specifically, you can do that right here in this section. All right, so now we are going to go into the client scheduling page. This is where you will find your links. And as we start to build this out and we go into setting up your calendars and your appointment types, you will see this start to grow a little bit more, and you'll have a couple different links to be able to use. However, the general scheduling page, as you can see here, general scheduling page, this is your link for that general scheduling page. And what that's going to do is going to bring you, we don't have any appointments or any other calendars set up right now, so what that's going to do is it's going to bring you to all of your different calendars, all of your services that you offer using the general scheduling page. If you wanted direct links to specific calendars or specific services, then we would go down here and we would select those. But because we don't have those right now just yet, there's only one link for just this general scheduling page. All right, what's really cool is that you also have a couple different options. You have the direct link, which is a lot of you guys will find yourselves using a lot. You have some code here for a booking button and a booking bar. This would mean that if you have a website set up, you would use this embed code to drop either your entire calendar inside of your website. So now you have the Acuity calendar embedded onto your homepage, or maybe your booking page on your website if you have that somewhere else. All right, if you have any questions about how to do that, if you are somebody who has a website and you need to embed your scheduler onto that website, I'm more than happy to show you how to do that or walk through that with you. It should be pretty easy to do. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is customizing our appearance. We are going to walk through that in this video, but it should be pretty straightforward. I want to also go through the scheduling page options to make sure that you have the right ones selected or deselected, or so that you can also view these yourselves and decide for yourself if any of these are necessary or not. All right, so here in the scheduling page options, what I would recommend that you do is have your settings look just like this. I would recommend that you read through them and make sure that you don't need any of these, or that you wouldn't want any of these turned on or turned off for your specific needs. But this is how we have it set up for our studio space, and it works just fine. We've never had to change this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this and save the changes. And now we're gonna go back to our appearance. So what I would recommend for your template and how you want this to appear is the monthly view. This makes it so much easier than this view over here. This looks super overwhelming. Don't like that for my users. I would want this calendar view. Again, this makes it so much easier to look at, and then so much easier for people to book their their events or their one-on-one services. So you can come in here, you would have the name of your business name, you would select your industry, which would most likely fit under like wellness. Perfect. Upload your logo, make sure that you do that. Let's go ahead and find our logo and upload that. Let's go ahead and do that here. All right, so now scheduling instructions. This is what we have for our studio space. Again, make sure that you are as specific as possible, or you make sure that you describe what it is that you want your customers, your clients to come here and do when they land on your scheduling page. So for us, it's book your class, your event at the Healing Tree Collective Studio. Please select the time frame that you would like to reserve using the options down below. All right, so kind of similar thing for you, but just obviously would not be, your audience is not other practitioners. You're not renting out your studio space. If you are, you can use this if you do have a studio space. Otherwise, it would be specific to your client, to your customer. All right, but again, this is where you would want to do that. You can also go here, and this will give you a lot more detailed description as to what it is that you would want to put in this section. But highly recommend that you do put something very specific there. Okay, do not leave that blank, and do not skimp out on that section there. All right, so the week starts is Sunday. I prefer it to be Sunday. Time format AM PM, because the 24 hours sometimes people aren't on military time. It can be confusing for them. English is obviously going to be our default language. If you are anywhere else in the world, then you have these options here as well. All right, so now what we want to do is for our font, you can have some options here. I'm just going to go ahead and change it to Railway. I like that option. You have a few more other options that you can select there. For our body background, which is going to be, let's see if it should show us here on the right hand side, which is great. That's going to be the background, the body of your scheduler, and how that's going to look. And then we have, I'm just going to go ahead and select a couple other colors here. We have this already set up. I like that there. Scheduler background, which would be most likely going to be white. I like that. We could also go black if you wanted to do that. To go darker routes, you could even do white on this if that makes it look a little bit more clean. I definitely would recommend that you play with this so that it looks nice and clean for your business. This is going to be the text color, obviously. Let's go ahead and change that to black. And then the button color, I recommend that for the button colors to be something that's a little bit more bright and vibrant. That way they see it, and then it makes it so much easier visually for them to click on that submit button. All right, so now let's go ahead and just save these changes. Let's leave it that as is. All right, so we got that taken care of, which was awesome. That was great in terms of the branding and the appearance for the calendar. Now we are going to go down here into the business settings. I'm going to go ahead and skip the availability and the appointment types, because we're going to be diving deeper into that. That is where the meat and potatoes of this platform lives, and that's where we're going to be spending our time setting all this stuff up. So let's go ahead and skip down to intake form questions. This would be something like if you wanted to provide some sort of questionnaire, some sort of intake form before people actually sign up. And this would happen before they book their appointment. All right, and I would recommend that play with this, see how it works out for your clients. If it's something that you want to provide or you want to implement into your onboarding process, if you want to have that intake questionnaire so that you can gather your details, you can gather the information before they arrive to their appointment, you can have your clients do that. Now, what I would say though is that it may make it a little bit more challenging for people to book. If there's something that they wanted to absolutely book with you, you've already had a conversation with them, they're already a very hot lead, right? Nothing else is going to stop them from booking an appointment with you, then it might be something that may work. Otherwise, when you're sending kind of cold traffic and people who don't know you, maybe they're kind of still on the fence about it, it may stop them just because of the fact that it's going to take them more time to set up. It's going to you know, maybe they're not in the right space or in the right place to fill out your questionnaire, and depending on the types of questions that you're asking, it may be a little bit more time consuming for them to do. So that is something that I just would ask you to be mindful of. However, it is a very great feature to be able to offer for your clients, and again, I invite you to play with it. All right, so now packages, gifts, and subscriptions. This is only a feature that is provided in the growing plan. All right, so the second tier plan, if you wanted to do something like this, you would have to then pay the $30 a month versus the $20 a month. I think something like that. All right, and this is also really great because this gives you the ability to create packages if you wanted to sell packages for your services, for your one-on-one services. This gives you the ability to do new gift certificates for your one-on-one services, and also to new subscriptions, which can operate as a payment plan. If you have something that's a little bit more higher ticket, you can set somebody up on a subscription. They can pay an upfront fee right away, and then continue to pay monthly or however it is that you have it set up, so that they can fulfill the, you know, the full payment. All right, and so we can dive into all of those things. If you have questions on setting these things up, I am more than happy to help. All right, so coupons for packages. Obviously, if you want to offer a coupon or any sort of discount to your clients for purchasing a package, you can do that in here. Quick disclaimer, when you're using the coupons, make sure that you're setting up coupons for the packages and not individual appointments, because those are two separate things, and we'll dive into that when we go into the appointments, because you can create coupons for your individual appointment types, and then also too for your packages. Okay, obviously you can see here what your orders are, and then you can see any subscribers that you have for any subscription packages. All right, so let's go back. And now for our integrations. Our integrations are platforms that we want to connect to Acuity Scheduling, and the great thing is that Acuity offers you so many great integrations already, even in the growing plan, on that first tier plan, which is awesome. Sometimes a lot of platforms, they don't do that. They force you to upgrade to the second tier in order for you to take advantage of the integrations. And the integrations that I would recommend that you have set up through here would be, if we scroll down, we would want to integrate Google Sheets would be one that I would recommend. However, you do have to use Zapier for do that. We can talk about Zapier in another video and talk about how we can connect some of these platforms to other platforms if you're not already familiar with Zapier. Zapier, whatever. I say Zapier. All right, so now if we scroll all the way down, we'll see Zapier here. We will want to connect that. Again, talk about that in a different video where we set up Zapier. For now, just to kind of leave that as is. The very, very most important ones that you do need to set up are Stripe and PayPal. Okay, Square, you're not going to be able to set up Square if you're using Stripe. Okay, so highly recommend that you set up Stripe. We talked about that in the first module. If you don't already have that set up already, I don't see why not. You should make sure that you go and set up your Stripe account, and then also to connect your PayPal account. Those are the two payment gateways that you are going to want to use for Acuity Scheduling. All right, Stripe and PayPal, those are the two most important ones. And then if you want to set up a booking button on Instagram or on Facebook, you can also do that right here too. Always happy to help you out and walking you through any of these things. You might even see a couple videos on doing it. Keep it simple. All right, so now let's go over to syncing with other calendars, which I definitely recommend that you do that. All right, if you don't use Google Calendar for your business, you got to set up Google Calendar for your business. You got to start setting yourself up to use Google Calendar for your business, to organize yourself. I know that some of you guys may use Apple Calendar, things like that, which is great. It's awesome. You can also connect iCloud here inside of Acuity. However, if you're not, or if you are open to using Google Calendar, it makes it so much more easier to be able to manage your time, to be able to manage your bookings. Again, otherwise you can use iCloud, you can use Outlook, any of these other calendars that a lot of you guys may use. However, I prefer Google Calendar, which makes it super easy. All it's going to do is going to ask you to connect to your account. Let's go ahead and do that here. Very easy, and allow this. and it'll automatically do that. Okay, and so here it is. Here are my different calendars that I have inside of my personal account, and I want to make sure that I select the right excuse me, the right one, which is going to be my social connections email. And then here you can also add additional calendars if you wanted to block off time from other calendars. All right, and you can see right above here that it says optionally have events in Google Calendar, block off times on your appointment calendar. And so that means that if you are being consistent and you are staying on top of your Google Calendar and you are actually using it in your day-to-day, for example, if you need to block off some downtime in the middle of your day, if you need to block off maybe a doctor's appointment for your kids, if you're using the Google Calendar and you put that time slot for that a doctor's appointment in your Google Calendar, then it'll automatically block it off inside of your appointment calendar, inside of Acuity Scheduling. And so that way, when your clients or your customers are going through your scheduling calendar, that time is already, that personal time is already being blocked off and they can't book it. So right here down below where you see this checkbox, you see block off time on your appointment calendar from your Google Calendar that you have connected onto here. And so you want to make sure, if you want to do that, if you want them to communicate back and forth, Acuity communicating with your Google Calendar and your Google Calendar communicating with your Acuity Calendar, then you want to have this check box right here checked. If you want to set any reminders, anything before, any minutes before your appointments, you can do that here. And you can also change the settings for your calendar and how you want it to show up. Do you want it to show up and only show busy, or do you want it to show the details of that booking? You want it to show that details, the title of that booking, so that you can see it on your Google Calendar. You don't have to log into Acuity. You can see it straight from your Google Calendar and manage everything from there, which makes it super easy. All right, so let's go back over here to this dashboard. We are going to go into our payment settings. Again, this is where you want to connect Stripe, a very simple process. It's going to ask you for, oh, awesome. It looks like I'm already logged into my accounts. If you are not already logged into your accounts, maybe it may not pull it up right away. If it does, then go ahead and select the account that you want it to connect to, and that's just because I'm logged into my email here, and that's why it's showing up automatically. All right, and the next thing that you want to connect is your PayPal, and that's just an email address. It'll do that. It may ask for any sort of confirmation codes or anything like that, an email confirmation. Just go through that process. It should be very simple and straightforward. Now, what I want to highlight right here is, which we will revisit this when we come back, when we have a couple more appointment types, because this is going to be very key here for you to see and to make sure that you know that this is here. All right, so the currency, obviously, if we are in the US, we're going to be using the dollar, and otherwise it provides you with all the currencies in the world. All right, if you are out of the US. Okay, so right here, use the same method for all appointment types. This is going to give you some flexibility. Again, we don't have other appointment types, so I can't really demonstrate, but again, make sure that you know that this is here, and this is going to give you some flexibility in how you want people to pay you depending on the appointment type. A use case for this is, for us, for example, and maybe you can apply it to you. For our 1 hour booking at the studio, that is a total of $85. That is something that is doable and is payable for the 1 hour. It doesn't cause any additional work on our end. We don't have to invoice separately. We don't have to go through 2 different transactions and pay double transaction fees. People, our customers should be, our practitioners should be able to pay that $85 for the 1 hour booking. Now, for, let's say, for example, a 4 hour booking that comes out to maybe $200 something. I don't really know exactly, but let's just say it's a much bigger number. That practitioner may not have that full amount up front. And so because they're collecting payments, they're still, getting people to sign up for their event, and they may not be able to pay it all up front. And so what's helpful is I can ask for a collect deposit or full payment. I can collect and save card details. Payment information is not required, which is definitely do not recommend that you do that. I do recommend that you collect something, that you collect a deposit at least, if not the full payment for your practice, because what happens is then people start to cancel, and then it starts to mess up with your business. It messes everything up with your scheduling, with your availability, with your business, and it just makes it very, very inefficient. So I highly recommend that you absolutely stand your ground and you collect at least some sort of deposit for people booking. And always, my recommendation, depending on your business and how you want to set it up, however, my recommendation would be that you don't offer a refund for people canceling. If anything, give them the option to reschedule and use that as a credit for later bookings or for a later service. All right, but it's not fair to you as the business owner for you to have made your time available and then for people to just not even acknowledge or not even respect your time. All right, it's not fair to you as a business owner. Make sure to always be fair with your clients and your customers and treat them how you would want to be treated, so that you can continue to maintain that long-term relationship with your client. All right, don't be a hard ass when it comes to these things. All right, practice good customer service. And so what it allows you to do is it allows you to collect a deposit amount. And so again, if this was a much bigger number, if this was like $250, I can see how they would find it very helpful to just pay a deposit. All right, and the deposit percentage, you can select either a deposit amount, just a flat rate dollar amount, or you can do the full payment, or you can do a deposit in percentage, and which is what I usually recommend that you do, is to do the percentage model. And then usually it's something like 40 or 50% of the full booking that they would pay up front, and then clients can pay full amount in advance. Make sure that you do have that selected, because you never know if they do have that money up front to pay in advance, and they have that option. You never know, they may pay it all up front. So all right, so that is a great feature for you to look at. Again, we will come back to this and just revisit it, bring this kind of full circle once we have some appointment types built out. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and discard those changes, and let's go over here to client email settings in our notifications. So this is an important one. Let's go ahead and hit discard. Okay, so now in our email settings, you are able to send your initial confirmation. Highly recommend that you do that. Let me pull up our confirmation emails and how we have them set up over here. So highly recommend that you do this for your clients. And it looks like custom email templates are only available on paid subscriptions. All right, so it looks like we won't be able to set this up until we have an actual paid subscription. But let me show you how we have it set up for our studio. So for our initial confirmation, we have something that is super straightforward and simple. You're booked at the Healing Tree. We have the appointment type that's going to show them first and last name on the time. Okay, so this is going to give them the time that they booked for, and then for the type of the calendar. So this is for the Healing Tree Collective Studio. So they're booking either which is going to show you here, a 1-hour studio rental, their first and last name, the time that they booked for, and then this is just going to show them the Healing Tree Collective, which is the calendar type that they selected for. All right, so now what we have, and so you can see that here. So one-on-one consults, which that's just giving you an example. It's going to show you the name just like this, 1-hour studio rental, the dates, and the time. All right, so now down here, what I would recommend that you do when you have your paid subscription already, definitely upload your logo. All you would do is insert an image, make sure that it's sized correctly, and then down here, it's going to give you kind of this template already. I would recommend that you change this. Let me see if we go back to this. It's going to look like that already, as you can see here. So let's go back to our other one. And I would keep this very simple. I would keep it as is. Appointment scheduled for first and last name. You have the what, the when, and the where. So again, the booking type, what time it is, and then the location. And we already have this custom message here that you can play with up here. You have so many different options that you can do. You can insert different fields, anything that you want specific, anything that you want to personalize to them. You can do that here. Let's say like I wanted to add thank you Angel. You want to add a name, you would do thank you first name, and that's the code for that. Okay, so that's where you would find here, insert field, you would find all that in that section there. However, you have so much opportunity, so much space up here to just add in any sort of additional buttons if you wanted to change, cancel, add to Google Calendar, any of these things that you can have down here. And this is how we have it. We have change appointment, we have add to the iCal Outlook calendar in case somebody has that option, or add to Google Calendar. We don't have any cancellation buttons. We don't want that, and because we don't allow cancellations, we only allow reschedules. And so that this is that button here, the change appointment. You can only do the reschedule, which would be change. Okay, and you can change that here. All right, so then down at the bottom we just have another logo, which is our Heal, Create, Inspire a mission there. And so mission statement, and then, well, not necessarily a mission statement, but this is our mission here for the Healing Tree Collective, and we have that down there at the bottom. All you would do is save the template, and then that's it. You would just apply it to your, make sure that it is applied to all of the offers, all of the services, all of the booking types that you have, and they're all selected right here in this section. Okay, so now and then if you have any other type of service, which we do, we have a second email template, confirmation template, that is pretty much the same thing, just a little bit of a different message here at the bottom. And that is why we created a second template. All right, and you can add more templates right here, but you can see that right here. And then select the appointment types that you wanted to apply to, which, let's say, for example, for your classes, you would want to have one template for your one-on-one services, and then you would have a second template for your classes, because they might have a little bit of a different message. All right, so just keep that in mind when you're setting this up. Now for reminders, again, this does come with the basic plan, the growing plan. You won't be able to send out any text messages, so just keep that in mind. I would recommend that you only send out one reminder 24 hours before, and then if you do have the emerging plan and you want to send out a text message, then the text message, I would recommend that you send that one out. Let's see when we have it. We have that one to be sent out also one day before. Okay, so you want to play with that. That is how we have this set up for our purposes. We don't really struggle too much with people forgetting that they booked a studio, that they booked they have a booking for the studio space for our business. However, for you dealing with the average customer who is booking for a service or a class, you may have maybe a second email reminder, maybe 48 hours before, maybe 12 hours before, 24 hours before, and then possibly a text message 12 hours before. You want to be very mindful. Okay, it's not about let me send as many reminders as possible to make sure that they show up. It's not how it works. Okay, you don't want to bother, you don't want to bombard your people with too many reminders. So just keep that in mind. Again, I definitely recommend play with either 48 hours, a 24 hour, and then a 12 hour. And that's also too depending on if you're sending email and text message. Okay, all right, so you want to make sure you can select the time, how many hours that you want to send it before the appointment, and then send this reminder to clients only. You can send it to yourself, but that might get annoying. All right, and then down here is the reminder. So you want to change the message down here. You want to also make sure that you have your buttons set up accordingly, and then make sure that you have the message set up properly there. All right, so now any cancellation messages. So same thing, your event has been successfully canceled. Just make sure that you set up the cancellation message. Make sure that you have it set up super simple and easy for them to understand. Again, we don't offer any appointment cancellations, but if they do, for whatever reason, they need to absolutely do that, then this is that template here. Here is the template for rescheduling. All right, so your event has successfully been rescheduled at the Healing Tree. Same format, same thing. Keep it all the same for you. Don't change it up too much. However, this only thing that will change is going to be that message down at the bottom. And then also too, for any follow-ups, if you want to do that, this would be follow-up emails that you would send after your appointment or after your one-on-one service. We don't do that for our business. It may be something that may be beneficial for you. All right, and this is also a message that if they get, or that they get when they purchase a package, or a gift certificate order. All right, and then that's just gonna give them the information there. You can you're more than welcome to come in here and change anything. Again, you have all the options up here to add any custom messaging. You can change this. I believe I can delete that. Yep, I can delete that if I wanted to. Let's go ahead and just try to add a logo here just so that you can see how that works. Let's go ahead and do this one. Just kind of how we had it at the bottom. And then let's go ahead and move this position. Oh, it's going to be in the center. Okay, it won't let us drag it. Okay, let's go down here. Insert image. There it is. Okay, so I believe we can also make this smaller. However, again, make sure that if it's just right for you. There it is. I like how that looks right there. I don't think that we can make this or scoot this up any higher. This would be any option if people click on this image, it can take them somewhere, but don't do that. I don't think it's necessary here. But that's how we created that. You saw in the other templates over here how we had that down at the bottom, and then up here at the top we have our Healing Tree Collective logo, which would be this one, and it starts to come together pretty nicely once we start to set all this up. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit edit. Let's bring this into the center, and now we have that there. Okay, so that's how that starts to come together. All right, so let's go back into appointment receipts. If you want to send receipts to your customers, you can definitely do that here inside of this section. This is something that is new. If you wanted to send receipts automatically to your customers. All right, and now just the SMS settings. If you do have upgraded to the emerging plan, this is what that can look like here. You can set your SMS reminders. Again, just be mindful in how you do this. I would definitely just only send one text message reminder. When you're sending text messages, you're definitely getting into a more personal style of communication, and that's something that you don't want to invade. You don't want to ruin that privilege that you have to be able to text your customers. All right, but it is nice to have. I definitely do recommend that you use it. I believe that customers and clients will appreciate you for sending these text message reminders, as long as it's not bombarding them. All right, and keep in mind, keep open communication with your clients and see how it's working out for them and get feedback from them. All right, so that's where you would want to set that up. And then any booking alerts, if you want to get email notifications sent to your email anytime somebody books, or maybe you want the summary emails of how many appointments you have, how many appointments you had past the week, and how many more appointments you have in the upcoming week. Or sorry, so it only does do upcoming week sent every morning. All right, so you can do that there and change those settings. The last thing that I'll show you here is where to access your billing information. Okay, so if you saw there, all the way down at the very bottom, you can click on there, and it's going to bring you to this window here. Again, remember that Acuity Scheduling is owned by Squarespace, so that's why you're going to see the Squarespace settings. And you can come over here and you can go into your account settings. You can change your logo, you can change your first name and last name, any of your website. So let's go ahead and actually just add that here while we're at it. A bio section, which I can come back and do that. We can add a bio. Definitely recommend that you do that. I'll come back and do that myself, but I highly recommend that you set up a bio. And then you have your account security. If you want to set up any two-factor authentication, you have your notifications set up. Probably recommend that you go in here and you turn all of these off so that you're not being bombarded with emails from Acuity Scheduling. You can change your language. And then if you come back over here, you can go into billing. And this is where you would, if you ever needed to change your subscription plan, you needed to update your payment method, anything like that, you can come in here and adjust those settings. So now if we wanted to go back, we can click on this on the healing tree up here. Let's go back into scheduling, and it's going to bring us back into our calendar. All right, my friends, so there you have it. We walked you through the entire dashboard of the Acuity settings. If you have questions on any of these things, or if you want me to dive a little bit deeper, or if I just was not clear enough on one little thing, make sure to reach out. Make sure to ask inside of the group. Make sure to ask inside of the community. And I am more than happy to either help you out directly, or I'm more than happy to create another video where I can dive a little bit more deeper or more specific into that one thing that you just wanted to know. I'm happy to help. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the next video, we are going to be diving into the appointment types and the availability, into the meat and potatoes of this thing to get you set up for your one-on-one services, for your bookings, and for your group events. All right, you guys, so thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.